Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play Fairy Trails by Paper Plane Games. It's ages 8 and up, 2 players, and takes about 20 minutes to play. Let me show you how it works. Fairy Trails is always a 2-player game, and your goal is to be the first to place all of your 19 homes, these little clear guys are your homes, to place them in the enchanted forest where you are building roads. And once you close off a path, you get to place your houses. And I'll show you what that looks like. To start, you find the card that has a colorful backing, and that is what you place out in the center for people to play off of. Each player is given their 19 little houses, and you each are dealt 2 cards off the stack face down. So your opponent can't see them, but we're doing them face up. So you can see what I'm doing here. You take turns. It's such simple gameplay. You take turns, and we'll say that yellow is gnomes versus fairies, and the gnome gets to go first, and he places one of his tiles out here, and then draws another one face down. These would be face down into a stack. His turn is over. It's this player's turn. A note, you're going to want to have a large plain space. You don't know where your trails are going to go off to. So if you have a little space, it might not even make it here on this big table, because sometimes you just go off to this side, or sometimes you completely go off to this side, and it is a pain to move it around, especially once these are on there or you have a bunch of tiles placed out. So plan early. It's this person's turn, and they can play. You can play it on any spot, but it can't be placed diagonally. It has to actually connect to an existing road. It can be down here. The way the game is set up is it works anywhere you place it. And so let's say this guy's playing here. As you see, the roads are both, as you're playing roads, pink was playing roads for themselves, but they're also playing out for yellow, and you're playing in the same space. So where you're playing is where the other person is playing, and they can mess with you as you're trying to close off sections of roads. These are the dead ends. And what you need to have is a dead end for every section that it could possibly go, and then you get to place your houses. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. I'm going to play another couple out really quick. We'll say this guy placed this one. This would be technically a dead end, a closed path, but there's no home in there to close. And this one looks a little bit different. This is called an overpass. So as you're placing more cards out there, look, I'm already going to have to start moving things because it's coming over here. If pink places this here, he's got a dead end here to start. And then he has another dead end over here. And by placing this one, if it wasn't an overpass, you can tell because it's dark underneath, he would have 3 more places he needed to close off before he got to place his little houses on top of these spots. But because it is an overpass over here, this is an underpass, he only has this spot to close off before he will be able to close off this section. And I will show you what that looks like here in a sec. Here's what closing paths look like. It is yellow's turn. So he's going to take this that has the little dead ends on it, place it right here, and if you follow the path, they're all dead ends along here, which is what you want in order to be able to place houses. So he has 2 houses that are in that little closed off path, and he gets to place them, and that's it for his turn. Side note, if you somehow managed to close a path and you didn't notice, whenever you do notice in another turn or 2, you can go ahead and place your little houses. Pink's turn. He's going to play this one right here, and he also has closed off a path. His have, the fairies got 3 spots along here. A strategy point, you can place things to kind of try to mess with your opponent so they can't close paths, but you can't do too much to do that. The worst this guy could have done was just continue the path for the other person, and then he potentially could have messed with your path. So there's a little bit of, don't worry too much about the other person getting to screw up what you're trying to do. They have limited options. They aren't able to close their own things if they do that. And eventually they're going to run out of the good tiles that do mess with you. So you can do it for a turn or two, but it can't be your whole gameplay. You won't win if you're doing that. Also, if your opponent closes one of your paths for you on purpose or by accident, and so let's say the other person had placed this for Pink. I guess they're just being very nice. And Pink didn't have these out here yet. You wouldn't get to place them right then. You would place them on your next turn. Here's what the end of a game would look like. It is yellow's turn to play, and they're going to close off this path right here, and we're gonna place all of his last gnome houses. Incidentally, he also closed off the fairies, a fairy path while he did this, but they would not get to place theirs until their next turn, so it does really matter. And he even had another one that he could have placed, but his houses are gone. They're gone first, so he is the winner. Sometimes, if you place out all of these tiles and no one has placed all of their houses, then just you count up whoever has placed the most houses and they are the winner. And if it's a tie, it's just a tie game. Play again. So that's how to play Fairy Trails. It is so easy to learn how to play, but it's a different game every time, so you should go check it out. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.